Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Mike Egobadio. Here are our top stories. Insecurity, Christian Association of Nigeria urges federal government to declare security emergency. Democracy Day, Tinubu set to address National Assembly. International Monetary Fund warns against costly interventions amid food inflation. And bear attack in Japan injures 4 at factory site. And on sports, Super Eagles face Poland in friendly after Unity Cup triumph. Now to the news in full. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) has called on the federal government to declare a national security emergency over rising killings, kidnappings, and terrorist attacks across the country, warning that Nigeria is sliding deeper into crisis. The call was made in a communique issued at the end of the National Church Denominational Leaders Summit 2026 in Abuja, and presented by CAN President Archbishop Daniel Oko. The association also announced a 3-day national mourning period from June 12 to June 14, with June 14 declared as a Black Sunday in churches nationwide in honor of the victims of violence. CAN condemned what it described as barbaric attack, including murder, abduction, torture, and forced displacement of citizens, and urged government to take urgent and decisive steps to restore security, protect vulnerable communities, and rescue those in captivity. The Christian body also called on a review of Nigerian security architecture, improve intelligence coordination, and also creation of state police, stressing that protecting lives and properties remains the government's foremost constitutional responsibility. Nigeria and China has reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening cultural diplomacy and people-to-people relationship through traditional Chinese martial art wushu, as part of the effort to deepen mutual understanding between both countries. The commitment was restated on Tuesday in Abuja at the Wushu, that's martial art premium exhibition held at the China Cultural Center, where officials said cultural exchange remains a key bridge for fostering friendship and cooperation. Speaking at the event, the cultural counselor of the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria, Yong Ji-hing, described Wushu as more than a sport, saying it represents Chinese values of respect, virtue, harmony, and peaceful coexistence, while promoting moral discipline and personal development. The exhibition featured live demonstrations and interactive sections by experts from Beijing Sporting University, while Nigerian officials and stakeholders, including National Sport Commission and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, highlighted the role of sports and cultural collaboration in strengthening bilateral ties and youth engagement. Now, talking politics, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is scheduled to address a joint session of National Assembly on June 12 as part of activities marking this year's Democracy Day celebration. The address is one of the several events outlined by the Inter-Ministerial Committee inaugurated on Tuesday to coordinate nationwide activities for the 2026 Democracy Day celebration. According to the committee, the program will include a World Press Conference on June the 4th, special Jumat prayer on June 5th, an interdenominational church service on June 7th, a public lecture on June 9th, youth and women focus program on June 10th, as well as the presidential broadcast and gala night on June the 12th. The federal government says the celebration will honor the late Chief M.K.O. Abiola and other heroes of the June 12th struggle, while also highlighting effort by Tinubu administration to strengthen democracy, deepen reforms, and promote national development. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has launched an internal investigation into the alleged unauthorized disclosure of a voter record, with one of its staff members now at the center of the probe over possible misuse of access to its continuous voter registration database. INEC confirmed in a statement on Tuesday that the Department of State Service has also commenced a parallel investigation into the incident, which involved the leaked data of a candidate in a recent party primary in the Federal Capital Territory. According to the Commission, preliminary findings from its audit trial indicate there was no external breach or hacking of its system, but rather access through valid staff credentials that were allegedly used without authorization. It also said only one voter record was affected and that the broader voter database containing over 19 million registered voters remains secure. INEC ordered that relevant staff had been questioned while it continues its investigation into collaboration with security agencies and assured that anyone found culpable will face persecution once the probe is concluded. The International Monetary Fund has warned governments against rallying on broad subsidies, price controls, and tax cuts to tackle rising food and energy prices, saying such measures could worsen inflation and strain public finances if proper or poorly designed. In a report titled Responding to Energy and Food Price Shock, Getting the Policy Details Right, the fund said policymakers must balance protecting households and businesses with maintaining limited fiscal space and global price volatility. The IMF cautioned that while such interventions may appear unnecessary, they often distort markets, weaken price signals, and tend to benefit higher income groups more than the vulnerable household. It advised government to allow prices to reflect global market conditions while focusing support on targeted cash transfer for low-income families and limiting business assistance to short-term liquidity support in exceptional cases. Still talking business, the Nigerian equities market closed on a bearish note on Tuesday as widespread profit-taking and sell-offs in medium and large cap stock dragged overall performance lower. As a result, the all-share index fell by 874 points, or 0.35%, to close at 246,686.66 points, while market capitalization declined by over 479 billion naira to about 159.219 trillion naira. The downturn was driven by losses in major stocks including PZ Nigeria, MGX Group, First Bank Holdings, Wema Bank, and Zenith Bank. Market breadth remained negative, with 37 decliners outpacing just 14 gainers, reflecting sustained bearish sentiment. On the largest chart, PZ Nigeria and CWG led the decline, while Wema Bank and Sovereign Trust Insurance also recorded notable losses. In Construct Energy, International Energy Insurance topped the gainers list, followed by Nationwide Express and Nimet International Pharmaceuticals. Trading activities also weakened, with total volume down by 47.9% to about 587.64 million units, valued at 23.06 billion naira, across 63,954 deals. Access Holding recorded the highest volume of trade, followed by Zenith Bank, as overall market sentiment remained subdued despite a few isolated gains. With that business news, we'll go on a break now, but when we come back, more news as it concerns the foreign scene and the interesting world of sports.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
On the foreign scene, at least 4 people have been injured after a bear attack in the northeastern Japan, in what authorities say is a rare but alarming incident near an industrial facility. Security footage from the Fukushima steelworks captured the moment an Asian black bear chased a worker near the factory entrance before knocking him to the ground. Local officials said the injured victims were taken for medical treatment, while safety measures have been stepped on in the area following the incident. Wildlife authorities are now monitoring the situation as concerns grow over increasing bear sightings near residential and industrial zones in parts of Japan. So on the foreign scene, at least 7 people have been killed after a drone struck a bus in Russian-controlled Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine amid a fresh escalation in fighting between both sides. The Russia-installed regional head, Denis Pushlin, said the bus was traveling between Moscow and Simferopol in Crimea when it was hit. The other 11 others were injured and are receiving medical treatment. Russia Investigative Committee has opened a criminal case describing the incident as a terrorist attack, while officials in several Russian regions are also reported widespread drone activity and damage to infrastructure. Authorities said Ukraine drone struck parts of St. Petersburg and other regions, while Russian Defense Military claimed intercepted and destroyed about 354 drones overnight across multiple areas. Regional officials also reported damage to residential and industrial facilities, with several people injured. The latest attacks come amid intensified cross-border strikes following earlier Russian drone and missile assaults in Ukraine that reportedly left at least 23 people dead, as both sides continue to trade blame for the escalating violence. And talking sport, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will continue their build-up for future international competition when they take on Poland in an international friendly following their Unity Cup triumph in London. Eric Chele's side go into the fixture in a strong form after a 3-0 win over Jamaica in the Unity Cup final, a result that extended Nigerians' unbeaten run under the Malian coach. The match offers both teams a chance to rebuild after failing to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, as they begin preparation for the next international circle. Nigeria expected to use the game to further assess their squad, although they will be out, or rather be without Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, who are both rested for different reasons. Key players such as Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, and Kevin Bassey are, however, expected to feature. The friendly will be played later today at the International Stadium in Warsaw, with kickoff set at around 7:45 p.m. Nigeria time. And still, though, interesting world of sport, the FIFA World Cup trophy has arrived in New York as part of the Coca-Cola FIFA World Cup 2026 Trophy Tour, giving fans an opportunity to see football's most coveted prize ahead of the tournament. The trophy was unveiled at the American Museum of Natural History, where former German international 2014 World Cup winner Bastian Schweinsteiger joined New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani for the ceremony. The event forms part of the global tour aimed at building excitement ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will be hosted by United States, Canada, and Mexico. Fans, officials, and football enthusiasts gather at the venue to celebrate the arrival of the iconic trophy as anticipation continues to build for the tournament. Let's go check what the weather will look like for major cities across Nigeria. It's already raining cats and dogs right here, and it looks as if indeed it's going to be a rainy day. Well, anyway, with the weather forecast, that brings us to the end of the news on Atlantic TV. I remain Michael Gobadia. Good day, and have a great time.